Battle of Zama, 202 BCE. The Roman victory over Hannibal that changed history.
Global Gateways.
The year is 202 BC, a pivotal moment in ancient history. The North African sun beats down relentlessly on a plain called Zama, a place that would soon be etched into the annals of history. Here, two formidable armies face each other, the fate of the entire Mediterranean world hanging precariously in the balance. On one side stand the legions of Rome, disciplined and hungry for victory after years of relentless struggle and hardship. On the other, the battle-hardened veterans of Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general whose very name had haunted Roman dreams for a generation. For over 15 grueling years, the Second Punic War had ravaged the lands from Spain to Italy, leaving a trail of destruction and despair. It was more than just a military conflict, it was a clash of civilizations, a fight for supremacy between the rising power of Rome and the established might of Carthage. The Battle of Zama was not just a battle, it was a reckoning, a decisive moment that would shape the future of the ancient world. The very air crackled with anticipation, as soldiers on both sides prepared for what could be their final stand, their faces etched with determination and fear. Generals on both sides knew that the outcome of this battle would determine the destiny of their nations, their strategies meticulously planned, their resolve unshakable. As the dust began to rise and the armies moved into position, the world held its breath, waiting for the clash that would echo through the ages. To understand the significance of Zama, one must journey back to the war's beginning. In 218 BC, Hannibal, a brilliant and audacious Carthaginian general, marched his army, complete with war elephants, over the Alps, striking terror into the heart of the Roman Republic. His victories at Trebia, Trasimene, and Cannae became legendary, testaments to his strategic genius. For years he roamed Italy, inflicting defeat after defeat on Roman armies. He seemed invincible, a force of nature unleashed upon a republic unprepared for his unconventional tactics. Hannibal's name became synonymous with fear and dread, a specter haunting the Roman psyche. Yet Rome was not easily defeated. From the ashes of disaster, a new generation of leaders emerged, men forged in the fires of adversity. Among them stood Publius Cornelius Scipio, a young patrician with a keen mind and nerves of steel. Scipio recognized that to defeat Hannibal, Rome had to challenge Carthage on its own ground. In a daring move, he landed in Africa, threatening Carthage itself. His victories there forced the Carthaginian Senate to recall Hannibal from Italy, setting the stage for the ultimate confrontation at Zama. The two armies that faced each other at Zama were a study in contrasts. Scipio's legions were the backbone of Roman might, disciplined, well-trained, and equipped for close-quarters combat. Facing them stood Hannibal's diverse, army-seasoned Carthaginian troops, fierce Gallic warriors, and the formidable Numidian cavalry, renowned for their speed and agility. Hannibal, ever the strategist, arranged his forces carefully. He placed his least reliable troops in the front line, hoping to wear down the Romans. Behind them stood his veterans, ready to deliver the killing blow. At the front, he unleashed his trump card 80 war elephants, intended to break the Roman lines with their sheer size and fury. Section 5. The Elephants' Rampage. The battle began with a terrifying spectacle. The sight of these massive creatures, armored and weaponized, was enough to strike fear into the hearts of even the bravest soldiers. With a mighty roar, the Carthaginian war elephants surged forward, their tusks adorned with blades, glinting menacingly in the sunlight. These beasts were not just animals, they were living weapons, trained for destruction. Their howdahs, bristling with javelins, carried warriors ready to rain down death from above. The combination of sheer size and the arsenal they carried made them a formidable force on the battlefield. The ground trembled beneath their weight as they thundered towards the Roman lines. Dust clouds rose, obscuring vision and adding to the chaos. The sound of their charge was like rolling thunder, a harbinger of doom. For a moment it seemed Hannibal's plan might succeed. His eyes gleamed with anticipation as he watched the chaos unfold. The elephants were his secret weapon, and they were performing as expected. The Roman soldiers, many of whom had never seen such creatures, wavered. Their fear was palpable, and for a moment it seemed they might break. But Scipio was prepared. He had studied Hannibal's tactics and knew what to expect. He had anticipated the elephant charge and instructed his men to open lanes in their formations, creating pathways for the elephants to pass through. This strategic maneuver was designed to neutralize the threat without direct confrontation, allowing the beasts to pass through without inflicting significant casualties. The elephants, finding no resistance, continued their charge, but their momentum was now working against them. Roman trumpeters added to the din, their blasts echoing across the battlefield. The sound was deafening, designed to disorient and frighten the elephants. Their blasts frightening some elephants into turning back on their own lines. The once mighty beasts, now confused and scared, caused chaos among their own troops, turning the tide of the battle in favor of the Romans. Section 6. The tide turns cavalry to the rescue. With the elephant charge thwarted, the infantry clashed in a brutal dance of death. The fighting was fierce and bloody, a testament to the courage of both sides. For a while the outcome hung in the balance. Then Scipio unleashed his own surprise. The Numidian cavalry, led by their ambitious king Massinissa, who had switched sides, sensing Roman dominance. The Numidian horsemen, masters of hit-and-run tactics, harried the Carthaginian flanks, their javelins raining death from afar. They were too swift for the heavier Carthaginian cavalry to catch, and their attacks began to tip the scales in Rome's favor. Section 7. Hannibal's last stand. Despite the setbacks, Hannibal remained a formidable opponent. He rallied his veteran troops, and they fought with the courage and tenacity that had made them the scourge of Rome for so long. But the advantage was slipping away. Scipio, sensing victory, ordered a general advance. The Roman legions, their discipline unbroken, pressed their attack with renewed vigor. The Carthaginian lines, battered and weary, began to crumble. One by one they buckled under the relentless Roman assault. Soon, the once proud Carthaginian army was a mass of fleeing soldiers, desperate to escape the slaughter. Hannibal, defeated but unbroken, barely managed to escape the field with a handful of his loyal followers. Section 8. The spoils of victory. The victory at Zama was complete and decisive. Carthage, bled dry by years of war, was forced to accept a humiliating peace treaty. They had to surrender their navy, pay a massive indemnity, and were forbidden from waging war without Roman permission. Their dream of Mediterranean dominance was shattered, their power broken. Rome, on the other hand, emerged from the war as the undisputed master of the Western Mediterranean. The victory at Zama marked the beginning of their ascent to superpower status, paving the way for centuries of Roman dominance. Section 9. Legacies forged in blood. The Battle of Zama was more than just a military engagement. It was a defining moment that altered the course of history. It was a turning point that signaled the end of an era and the dawn of a new age. This battle marked the conclusion of the Second Punic War, a conflict that had raged for nearly 2 decades. For Carthage, the defeat at Zama was a catastrophe from which they would never truly recover. Their once mighty empire was left in ruins. Although they lingered on for another half-century, they were a shadow of their former selves, their power and influence forever diminished. The city that had once been a beacon of commerce and culture was now a relic of a bygone era. The remnants of Carthaginian civilization stood as silent witnesses to their former glory and subsequent downfall. For Rome, Zama was a triumph of military prowess and political will. It was a victory that showcased their strategic brilliance and unyielding determination. This victory cemented their status as the dominant power in the Mediterranean, setting them on the path to empire. The lessons learned on the battlefields of Zama would shape Roman military thinking for generations to come. The strategies and tactics employed would be studied and emulated by future commanders. The battle also highlighted the importance of leadership and the impact of individual commanders on the outcome of conflicts. And the legacy of both Hannibal and Scipio, the two protagonists of this epic struggle, would continue to resonate throughout history. Hannibal, with his daring tactics and relentless pursuit of victory, became a symbol of military genius and unwavering determination even in defeat. Scipio, on the other hand, embodied Roman resilience and the will to power. His ability to adapt and overcome challenges made him a revered figure in Roman history. The clash between these two titans of warfare left an indelible mark on the annals of history, influencing military thought and strategy for centuries. Their legacies, forged in the crucible of battle, serve as enduring reminders of the complexities and